welcome to the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
He is a very loud Sourpuss.
I am a moderately normalized Sourpuss.
We are both having Dirty Shirley's, also known as a kitty cocktail. And one of my cherries is floating.
Aw. Mine looks like, I don't know what it looks like.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. This episode brought to us by Door County Cherry flavored vodka.
Mm-hmm. What's funny is that they say they're from Door County, but in reality, they're actually based out of Milwaukee.
Probably originally from Door County, maybe.
Oh no, wait! It's actually distilled in. What does that say? Bottled by Central Standard, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So it's probably made in Door County.
Where the cherry's from. Or actually that's just what it's called, is their particular. So actually, the brand is Central Standard, and their flavor is Door County cherries. There we go.
Gotcha.
That
makes more sense.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, but this place is located out of Milwaukee, but.
Where is Door County?
So you look at the map, it's literally this finger right here.
It's giving us the finger.
Yeah, well, it's the pinky finger, but.
Uh-huh.
So we've been driving around today, and we've noticed that a lot of flags are at half-mast.
Yeah.
Normally, a half-mast is given to when a president dies.
Or someone of great authority, or like
has passed away.
Somebody of importance.
So, like Ginsburg, when she had passed away, all flags were reduced to half-mast.
Yes.
George H.W. Bush
Senior
was also half-mast.
Right.
Literally any political figure of huge importance, or even a most famous American that's passed, gets half-mast. Okay, we understand at least why that works. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, half-mast.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
They always drop the flag half-mast?
Yeah.
On those days?
Yeah.
I don't
know about Labor Day, but I know for Memorial Day and
I never
Veterans
noticed
Day.
that.
Yeah.
I just never took notice of that.
Only for the day. But Americans have become incredibly lazy with raising the flag up back to the next day when it is not necessary to put it at half-mast. Half-mast is only a signatory to remember someone.
Right.
Or something. But now I've noticed a lot of places which have a flag post. This is what pisses me off. I think all flag posts should be controlled by the government, and here's my reasoning why. People don't know, both people and companies have no fucking clue what half-mast actually means.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off that I've seen so many flag posts in the past year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, has always been at half-mast. When there's almost little reason why a flag should be at half-mast for so long.
Right.
After the death of any president, it is half-mast for a month. That's the max. If 2 presidents die within that time, it is starting 1 month after the second president dies. It will cover the first president death plus the second. Not 2 months. It'll only cover that amount of time.
So what's our theory behind
I think
these days laziness of half-mast usage?
I think, 1, people have no idea what our flight code is.
Yeah.
2, I think people are stubbing their toes and putting their flag at half-mast because they think that is one way to make their point across.
Yep.
Whether if it's, oh, well, the president I voted for didn't get in,
So I'm putting my flag at half-mast.
Just to show that I am mad at America. I don't know. Or mad at half of the country, which, I don't know. To me, I find it incredibly stupid that people don't know how to half-mast a flag.
Yeah.
Especially during a time when I can't think of a single person who's died recently who deserves a half-mast. Nor is it Memorial Day or Veterans Day. I can't think of anything unless it's to signify. Martin Luther King Day. Is that in January or is that in February? I think it's in January. You have your phone. Why don't you look at it?
What's that?
Martin Luther King Day. I know it's either in the month of January or February. I do know that Lincoln's birthday is February.
When is Martin Luther King Day?
Okay.
January?
Oh, it's January. Okay. So, I can't think of any other good reason why this flag would be down this month. And I thought it may have been Martin Luther King Day, which he is an instrumental American who's done so much.
He is.
I thought maybe his birthday was this month, but I wasn't certain if it was this month or the past month.
No.
I do know that Abraham Lincoln's birthday is this month. I think it's like February 9th, 1803.
He remembers all the old birthdays.
If that's the day. I know it's the month and the year, but I frankly no, it's 1809. It's 1809. Sorry. I can make one mistake.
Yes.
I don't know. What are your thoughts about the idea of why every flag is at half-mast and why they're always at half-mast? Explain.
Well, I stubbed my toe, so this flag should be at half-mast.
Yeah.
Or I didn't get the pay raise I wanted after I slept with the manager that I slept with. So this flag should be at half-mast. People misuse it.
Yep.
Because they don't know any better. They're uneducated.
Yep. It's the same with having the upside-down United States flag that should only be used in a time of full-on distress. The problem is so many stupid Americans use it for whatever reason they'd want to, but obviously they're not in distress. The signifying of the half-mast is almost becoming irrelevant, almost considered pointless these days. Because I've seen too many places have their flags at half-mast for so long. You're better off making the flag poles that tall if you're not even going to make it full mast.
Yep.
It's the same with the upside-down American flag by people who think our country is under attack, when people who use the upside-down American flag shows that it is a signifier to others to say, hey, I need help. Respond.
Right.
There is no reason why you should have an American flag upside down unless you are in absolute grave danger of your life or others.
Yeah.
People just do it because I don't like Obama. I'm going to put my flag upside down because America's in trouble. Nope. You don't deserve a flagpole.
Nope.
No.
I just remembered something. The first store that I worked at in Delafield,
Yeah.
our American flag kept getting stolen.
What?
People kept stealing it.
People keep stealing your American flag.
Yeah, outside the Walmart. So we finally, for a long time, we didn't have one. And then they finally installed a cable instead of a rope
Yeah.
for lowering and raising. And it was electronic, automatic, had a lock on it and everything.
Yeah.
But it was like a cable that would had to have been cut with like a cable
Yeah.
cord, so they stopped stealing it after that. But somebody kept lowering it and stealing it.
Why is that?
Probably the same guy that rides down the highway with it in the back of his pickup truck.
He keeps losing so many. I wouldn't be surprised.
I see so many of those guys too.
That's considered an obstruction.
Yeah.
On your vehicle.
Yeah, it is, especially on the highway.
That's also considered a major distraction, which isn't really good at all. I don't know. Americans have stooped their intelligence
We've lost our way.
a long time ago.
They think that doing that makes them more American. Anybody who doesn't do this is un-American.
I pick up trash in my local park because that's the most American thing I can think of, because I care about this country to where I don't like to see trash on it.
Yeah.
I make this country look good.
They're the kind of people that would throw that trash down.
Yeah. What are you, queer? What? You like recycling. What are you, a Democrat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Our Republicans are gonna find any excuse. It's like pickup truck owners. Most Americans who will buy an F-150 pickup truck, 9 out of 10 are likely going to be Republicans. Because America, you're going to buy a pickup truck, the symbol of American affluence and wealth? Okay. Shows that you're a hard-working American, even though you live in the suburbs where you don't even own a boat to trailer, to even use your truck. Yep. And the claim that Ford never took a bailout like General Motors or Chrysler, the thing is, Ford did get bailed out the year before General Motors and Chrysler did. It's just no one ever actually picked up on it. So, what are you doing, cat? Pull your pants up. Oh, no. You are a sick cat. You're a sick cat. I don't know what... I'm not going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk to my croc.
That croc needs to be replaced. Look at the treads on that.
It's my croc. I'll keep using it until the end of time.
Eventually you have to replace it.
No. This is my croc.
How long have you had those?
I have no idea.
Probably as long as I've known you.
Probably 10, 12 years old.
Oh. So speaking of un-Americans, I went on this little tangent earlier just thinking about, just like, I don't know, the irony and what's the best word I can use?
Hypocrisy?
Hypocrisy is a good word, yes. Those people that whoever happens, insert name of president here. Name of president's not my president. When I think of like the peaceful passing of powers, of responsibility of president to president, which somehow did happen. I guess it really didn't officially happen, did it?
What, this past one?
Yeah. Trump didn't say anything. He just left.
Trump didn't say anything. Trump didn't do anything. He went off on a golf course while Biden was getting inaugurated.
So he was no part of it.
I don't think he was not even anywhere near.
See, that is exactly my point. Okay?
Just a sore loser.
You elect a man like this, a sore loser. Every American president, Republican, Democrat, I don't care what they were, has always been there when the new president was inaugurated.
At least a good majority of them. There have been a few.
Shook hands. I wish you luck. Take care of this country, blah, 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 blah. That is what a true American does. So for people to sit back now, it's like a new breed of Americans, really. The Trumpian American. And to say that, if you don't like, Trump, then you're not American, you're un-American.
You need to get out of our country.
What's more un-American than not congratulating and stepping down honorably to pass on the power to the next president.
I hear Americans say, well, we didn't raise any sore losers. Well, your sore loser of a president literally fit your description.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that to get back at people. I'm just saying that just to point that out.
A pure fact to me. It's just a pure fact.
It's just a fact.
I never knew that he never attended, was not a part of.
I believe so. This is like the first inauguration in a long time I didn't even bother actually watching because, one, busy, two, hadn't really no interest. Politics has been strained for the last 4 years, and I'm starting not to care anymore.
I feel the
You
same way.
should care, but the problem is,
It's hard to.
after what we've gone through, I am so disenfranchised by our whole political system that I want something a bit more different than what we have to put more faith into what we represent.
Yes.
There are other countries around the world that will give almost monthly COVID aid to its hard-hit citizens. We've only been given a $1,200. We've only been given a $1,200 COVID relief and the $600. That's piss poor. There's some countries that give out $1,000 a month to all of its citizens.
I still have yet to get mine.
Yeah. You don't even know if you even qualified for it.
Yeah, because the letter I got said I may or may not. It's very ambiguous. You may not qualify.
I think you should be. But if you never got one, then I'd be pretty disappointed.
Because I worked so much overtime somehow?
I think for individuals, it's anyone that makes under 80 grand. Which, you have to be out of touch when 80 grand is the cutoff point.
Yeah.
I wish I could make that much money. Can live easy. Can live a long time off on
That's 4 times as much as what we normally make.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong. There needs to be a...
You know, this country... No country isn't perfect. This one isn't either. But who in their right mind believes that a couple that makes collectively $150,000 a year doesn't qualify for the COVID relief? If you're making that much money alone, you don't need any help. You should be spending your money wisely making that much money.
Yes.
20 grand a year, you barely even know how to save it because you're always using it. Because in this country, we have made everything so expensive that there is no way that anything can be cheap again.
Huh. Speaking of, this is interesting. So I told you I saw my supervisor today.
Yeah.
My old supervisor from my old store.
Mm-hmm.
This is directly from that store manager, because he was there helping. Hey, come back to our store and just be a cap again. You'll make $15 an hour.
Back in Delafield?
Yeah. 15. $15 an hour.
They want you back.
That's $3 more than what I'm making right now.
Yeah. You thinking about doing it?
No.
The drive?
The drive, and I don't want to be around much longer with Walmart. I don't want to be a career Walmart person.
Let's actually talk about Walmart. So, you mentioned that corporate showed up to your store today.
Supposedly. I don't think... No, they did. They did make it. They even apparently paid for our Jimmy John sandwiches today, which I grabbed one for you.
Aw.
Because I don't want it.
I will take it to work.
They walked through the break room like this.
They're so full of shit.
Like we're supposed to kiss their butts for this
They're so full of shit.
gift. Like, oh guys, how's everybody? Everybody good? Enjoying your Jimmy John's? Yeah.
Might be the best food you'll ever have all week. No. So,
They acted like we're supposed to kiss their butts for like buying these stupid ass. They're like sample size sandwiches. Those are little tiny ones.
oh. Anyway, so you were mentioning earlier that you've got 3 pallets worth of stuff that's been sitting around all week.
Yeah.
And after a while, that stuff probably spoils because a lot of that stuff can be perishable.
Most of it is. All of it is.
And you make the mention that there's more of a surprise of the open space, or the space available is opened when you get all that shit done than having it filling it up.
Yeah.
Which should always be the opposite.
It was commonplace to have a congested back room for us.
And it's because people are not motivated to work faster. They're not motivated to work because you know why?
Pay.
Yeah, it's Walmart.
Yeah.
Whatever, a long time ago, which I'm talking about 2-3 years, they were trying to make a push for $14 an hour. You know what, where the hell happened to that? It's almost as if they backpedaled that, maybe that's too much.
They did.
And you know what? That's their whole problem.
If you increase the pay,
Mm-hmm.
you attract a better quality
Worker.
employee.
And not only that, but you can cultivate them as well.
Yes.
A worker will only give a shit if they say, hey, we're paying you $15 an hour, do not disappoint us.
Right.
Because they expect nothing out of you. But if
No,
you
you're well above minimum wage.
Yeah. And you know what?
That's borderline livable wage at that point.
Not just borderline.
Borderline.
It is livable.
Yeah.
12 is borderline livable, but it's not good enough.
No.
13 might be livable, but it's still not good enough. 15 is where we all should be.
Yep.
You will get higher productive workers if you pay them $15 an hour and more in this country. I guarantee you, your productivity will be going skyward. Because people are willing to work harder if they get paid more for it, which means they feel they are an important asset to the company because they're putting their investment into you.
Right.
The big reason why I left my company was because pay, and other things, but pay is a huge reason why that, I get to do all the shit, but I'm not paid enough for it.
Right.
I'm going to go look around and find a job that I work less and get paid more.
So to give you an idea of the money that we make, when I worked at Blockbuster Video, when I left there, I was making $17.50 an hour.
Which today is the equivalent of like making $21 an hour.
It's pretty damn good money for running a store. And keeping my hourly hours instead of being a full-timer. Not full-timer.
And this is back 20
Keeping
years
my
ago.
hourly rate rather than being a salaried employee.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that. Okay. What was my point? Shit, lost it.
You're saying $17 an hour working for Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Making money.
Yeah, there was a point though.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it's the
You'll
out-
get better productive workers
it's the
if you
outcome.
get paid more. You get to keep your workers longer because now they're willing to stick around longer. Or if not, you might convince them to be lifers or long-timers if you pay them good money. If you're going to pay someone $10 an hour to do an intensive job, don't expect them to stay very long. Walmart, don't expect anyone to stick around for $12 because they might find a better job for $12 or more an hour, or even substantially better. I don't know, this country's fetish of paying people less, because they say you got to pull yourself by your bootstraps because you got to you you got to earn your money. Well, we've all earned our money hard way, but we never get more than what is actually needed.
I found it. So here's the thing. I would run a store as a quote-unquote assistant manager without a store manager, keep my $17.50 an hour. Our daily income for most average stores, somewhere between $3,500 to $5,500, maybe $6,000 on a weekend day.
You mean money, right?
Yeah, money-wise. We made like $3,500. I'd say on an average, if you just average it out over the week, probably about $4,500 a month, or dollars a day. $4,500 earned each day. That's how much money the store made. Do you know how much money Walmart makes a day? How much we're projected to make every day?
How much?
$180,000 a day. I guarantee you they don't spend even close to that in labor.
Oh, no. How many people are on the floor in the morning?
I'd say on the average, 30. No, not even. No. Yeah, about 30,
All right,
31.
Well, let me do some simple math. So you said that's a week?
Yeah, average weekday about 30 people total across the
And
store.
150,000, is that a day or is that a week?
170,000 for a regular weekday.
A weekday?
Yes, weekday.
Shit, you'd be able to afford everyone's wages on one day alone in a month.
Yeah.
I don't need to do I don't need to do math for that at all. Shit. Okay, so let's say there's 60 people. You're going to use one day of the month to pay for all of your employees.
Yep. They're making
All
hand
right.
over foot in this place.
So you say 170,000.
And I just...
And that's divided by, let's say, 60. Everyone would be making $2,800 in a month.
Yes.
That's, to me, a livable wage.
Mm-hmm.
2,000 is where you should really start.
Yeah.
And then make your way up.
Considering that, say, you live in an apartment and you're paying
$600 to $800 to $1,200.
$1,200 to $1,600 a month.
Oh God.
At a decent place. I checked a few apartments where there was like the rent was like $800, $900.
Mm-hmm.
Total dive. Guaranteed. Number one, roaches or some kind of bug invader that hangs out at those apartments.
Mm-hmm.
The best possible scenario that I've found: someone who owns a building where there's a business downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's apartment space above it. Those are good places to rent from.
Oh yeah.
Because number one, they have to abide by codes to
Yep.
run that business,
Oh yeah.
and they're using your monthly rent to help make ends meet. The better the tenant, the more they don't increase your rent. My friend Glenn, that worked at the other store, was paying $450, $500 a month for one of those types of places. It was a loft apartment. He had the entire upstairs to himself. A small building. So it was like a storefront type store downstairs. No, I think he had one neighbor. I'm sorry, I take it back. It was him and one other person upstairs. But it was really, it was a great deal. $450, $500 a month. That's how much an average Walmart employee can afford rent-wise by themselves.
Which means, if you really think about it, a lot of these people in our day and age have to band together.
Yep.
And have 2 or 3 people in a apartment unit, which, when you really think about it, back in the day...
Which we'll probably end up doing at some point.
Oh, I refuse to live in an apartment.
We have to try living somewhere.
I don't know about you,
Before you buy a house, you need the experience.
I don't trust people with my car outside. I will refuse to do something like that.
Well, get a garage. There's a garage. There are apartments that have garages.
Anyway, that's not just beside the point. The point that I am making is that people who don't find a good enough job are more likely going to have to band together to rent out one single unit, which historically in the 1970s, buying power being incredibly large, one person can maintain themselves within an average size apartment that we have today for almost less money, obviously. It's just inflation is gone incredibly haywire in this country. Every society, every type of economic system has some form of inflation. However, capitalism, it can control the inflation if it wanted to. There's still going to be inflation, but it can be a plateau if it wanted to.
Yes.
Or a spiraling mountain like it is right now. I would be guaranteed that a small compact car in the United States by the end of the decade will cost closer to $25,000 to $30,000 than around the $20,000 mark.
Yeah.
You know, in the 1990s, the average economy car costed around $10,000 to $12,000 to $14,000.
Yep. Much more affordable.
My Cavalier, when it was brand new, was $15,000, $16,000. For a fully loaded car. My car was fully loaded when it was brand new. $16,000 in 1996. Now, these days, to get a fully loaded compact car of similar specification, you're looking at $25,000 to almost close to $30 or $30,000.
I wish it was $30.
The U.S. dollar is a joke. The U.S. dollar is perfectly useless. Our inflation rates in this country are appalling. They should never be this high.
Nope.
The only reason why bread, milk, and butter haven't skyrocketed up in price because they know we would start cutting heads off of people.
Well,
because at the end, I mean, Americans have their lazy boy couches that they'll sit their ass on for the next 8 hours before going to bed. The thing is, though, when you start pricing out stuff that has historically been somewhat affordable, even though, yeah, the cost of milk is still going up.
Well, here, just to give you an idea of the cost of what things are, iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
My arch nemesis, iceberg lettuce. This went up 20 cents.
That's the rate of yearly inflation.
Yeah. And this has gone up 2 times in the last year.
So it went up 40 cents.
Yep.
See, that's stupid.
Yep.
And Americans are perfectly allergic to lettuce, so I don't even know why they would skyrocket. For the other people in this country that want to eat healthy, now they got to pay more for it. Have you noticed, too, that all of the healthier foods, the more bio foods that have been raised with no artificial ingredients or processes through them, cost a lot more, even though they take almost little effort to make.
Yep.
Compared to the foods that actually have all of these genetically modified materials into their processes, they cost less.
Yep.
Why is that? Is it because this country wants us to all be total lardos that...
Yes. They want us to have health problems. They want us to suffer, as Lauren says. Suffer. That's our daily thing. We tell people to suffer.
Oh, yeah.
Not to their face, but if somebody is like, jewelry, you have a customer waiting at the jewelry counter, please, jewelry. We're like, jewelry, you're going to have to just suffer because there's nobody there.
Nope.
So suffer. This is what they want us to do. They want us to suffer.
Oh,
They want us to get cancer.
They want us to get sick more easily.
Because that does what? That creates more business for our hospitals and our doctor's offices.
Pharmaceuticals.
This is all very well set up. I have
This is
to.
all
I give them
choreographed.
credit. It's very well coordinated. I mean, it's instrumentally, it's a well-oiled machine. because they've got us where they want us.
There's a reason why farmers were the most healthiest people around.
Yeah, because they ate organically.
It's not just that they ate what they grew,
Yeah,
or what they can buy locally from other farmers.
sure.
There's a reason why American farmers tend to be the most healthiest people in our country.
And I hate to sound like I'm an anti-American.
I love this country. I just hate the way how it's going in the last 10, 20 years.
When you look at it like this, through a very unfiltered lens,
Yeah.
and because everything is so
Filtered in
sepia tone.
Explain.
Just a filter plopped over it to really make things
Hide.
look, to hide.
Okay, so in this case, what you're saying is America, the corporate part of it all, and the military part of it all, and the government type of it all,
Yes.
is putting filters over our eyes to make sure that we're living in a perfect society, when in reality,
We're not.
you and I have not drank that Kool-Aid yet, and we understand that this country is not perfect what people think
We're
it
not
is.
alone either.
And other countries aren't perfect
The
either.
more people I talk to about this in a very candid and frank and honest way, feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you change this? Keep voting? I mean, is that going to change things?
I mean, so there was an awesome tweet that I saw last week or so
Yeah.
about why Americans like to make fun of the French, but no other group of people in history have actually made their own elected officials accounted for
Yeah.
by sending them to the guillotine.
Huh.
And Americans are too focused on their lazy boy couches
Oh, yeah.
to get up to say, hey, we should maybe start... we should start collecting all of the corrupt politicians in our state and have a show trial and just chop their heads off and
Do you know why? Do you know why?
It's because
they do not work for us. This is the problem with our country. The way politics should be run, we elect someone to work for us.
oh yeah, not that
We
they say
are
that they
not-
will work for us.
We are not here to work for them. Because, bottom line, without us, there would not be an America.
No.
There would not be a functioning country. If everybody just up and stopped working, the country would collapse within days.
Frankly, I like the idea of working less, because you know what? Humanity should... I can only think of...
I can't wait to see this episode get flagged by YouTube.
I mean, I don't even think YouTube even knows that we even exist.
Probably not.
Besides just knowing that, oh, yeah, this guy makes a podcast that
Anti-American.
10, 20 people listen to, but even still, when you think about it.
And I'm not trying to be anti-American. I'm trying to be real.
I'm trying to be real as well. Like, I like the flag. However, I don't like what it represents now.
Not anymore.
I like the flag, what it represented to us Americans and the world around us in terms of the values that we hold dear.
Yes.
Being held accountable. Making sure that the meek are not destroyed in our own system or any system.
Right. We're so, this country's so established on, bring us your poor, you're this, you're that. I can't think of all the
Bring us your poor and weak masses, and we will make them full.
Yes.
Or something to that degree. Which in this country, for many, many people around the world, gave them that. And I'm at least happy that those people have been brought up, at least in our society, in a better light than their own. Now, that is still what I believe that this country is great at. The problem is that the people already here, they've taken full advantage of us because of our own ignorance and complacency.
Right.
For those that already don't think deep enough about what's going on. It's not the idea of who is more American by sticking with traditionalist views.
Right.
The traditionalist views is what the American government in the very beginning wanted us to.
Right.
Not the traditional views of yesteryear. We're talking about traditional views that this country's been founded on 2 centuries ago.
Right.
And Americans are too stupid. Okay, maybe let me make that a bit more better. Are too thick in the head.
Yes.
To understand that, yes, you want to follow tradition, right? Okay, what's tradition for you? Wait, Reaganomics? No. You want traditional views of the forefathers, of what they believe this country is probably best for. Reaganomics is a time when politics was starting to become even more corrupt. I think after JFK, we have never had a more honest president since.
Yeah.
LBJ being maybe the final ones that had some form of agenda, but followed up what JFK didn't.
Even Clinton, who at the beginning seemed so wholesome, agenda.
Yeah. There was... Actually, no. Actually, you know what? There's one good president after JFK that actually didn't have an agenda.
Obama.
Actually, no. Not even him, and it's not even actually a president you're thinking of. George Bush Sr. And let me explain. When we went into Iraq in 90 and 91, we left fully.
What do you mean left?
We left their country as soon as the war was over.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we stayed for a few more weeks to clean up things, and then we were gone. You know what every single one of Bush Sr.'s advisors told him? Don't leave.
Yeah. Stay there. Don't pull out.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get their hands in everything yet.
In their oil.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we are right now.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that they wished Bush Sr. would have done, was to stay in there, and he didn't. Because he knew that it was best that Americans do not belong in certain parts of the world that we're not even welcomed in.
Yeah, we're not. People hate us.
There's a lot of people
The
in
mainstream public does not realize how much a lot of the world
doesn't actually
does
like us.
not like us.
Or not so much the individual American person.
But the government.
It's the whole idea of Americanism that we tend to like, oh yeah, we like burning gallons of gas in a pickup truck that Americans barely know how to use, while wasting so much electricity in their homes. You need to get more creamier butter, dude.
It's down to the bottom. It's almost out.
You're better off just getting a spoon.
I should, but it's okay. Moving on.
It's not the idea that other people around the world hate us, you and I specifically. No. They hate us as an idea in terms of what our government is doing around the world.
Yeah.
It's Americans don't know what we're doing around the world
We
specifically.
have no idea that we have people stationed in almost every Middle Eastern country. And we build these people to get oil.
Yeah.
And take over plants. What do you call those things?
Oh, the oil rigs?
The oil rigs.
And they say Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. In fact, when everyone else is out of oil...
I dropped a poo.
Oh, God. When everyone else is out of oil around the world, Venezuela is going to be the last country to still have oil. It's just... Americans need to wake up. Wake up for the idea that we are Americans and we know all this is wrong. Your hands were shiny. Oh my God, what the hell? What the fuck is that? Oh no, what on earth? No, just eat it, dude. Just eat it. Put it in your mouth and just eat it. No, it's longer now. No! Your hands are shinier and oh my God, no! Just eat it. I'm not even gonna watch. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Dustin.
I am not gonna... Don't you put it close to the microphone. Oh, you put it in your mouth! Oh, you put it in your mouth! close to the microphone. Luckily, people don't know what that smells.
It's just almond butter that happens to look like poo.
Oh my God, we're a shitty podcast. Okay, so going back to what
And
we
you
were
didn't
talking...
think we were going to get there.
No. Now our...
Cut to Sourpuss in a litter box and playing with his poop.
That's going to have to be an image that someone's going to have to make now.
Oh, please do.
Oh, you heard it here, folks. If you listen to this episode, send us...
If you do fan art of me playing in a litter box, even just playing in a litter box, minus the poo, I will donate money to your, whatever, your artist fund, your
just pretty much say you'll pay for the art.
I will. Well, beyond that,
you'll pay for the art.
Definitely pay for the art. Definitely, I love supporting struggling artists. Anybody that's still up and coming. Yes, please.
I am terrified.
Litterbox Poos.
Oh my God. So I think to pretty much finish up on that subject, Americans need to really fully wake up on both sides of the aisle, understanding that this is not the America that we should be touting. We need to go back to better values, but with upholding the modern advancements that we as a society agreed to advance with. As far as LGBT, as far as making aware that there is still a racist problem in this country. That's another one.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the land of the free and the equal, and yet we can't even treat people normally. That still pisses me off.
I was going to bring that up earlier too. Partially, and I don't want to I don't want to say what you're bringing up is not valid, but part of the problem is that people think free. They think it means something else. They think that things are free here. A lot of the people that are from other countries, they don't realize that we're talking about freedom of religion, which is entirely what it comes down to.
I mean, freedom of speech, freedom of press,
but when we say when we say land of the free
and home of the brave,
we what it is implied is that you can come here and you are free to practice whatever religion you were brought up in.
Yeah.
And you will not be judged for that.
Yeah.
That's what
it should be.
That's what land of the free implies.
And yet we are the most xenophobic country against Muslims.
Yes.
Is it for being a country about freedom of religion? We are so against Muslim people, Wiccan, really any kind of religious that does not follow the Christian Judaist belief system. We will see as okay. Come on, dude.
I forgot it was in there.
I'm
gonna lose this cookie next.
This country needs to evolve to the next level of just being a normal country. We spend too much money on our military, and yet the only actual physical neighbors that we actually... I'm not talking about, yes, we need to keep China and Russia in check. I totally believe that. We need to keep North Korea in check. I understand that as well. I understand that you need to support Japan against whatever imminent danger that it gets from North Korea and China.
Talk about a country that's evolved, too. You bring up Japan. I have the utmost respect for Japanese. Mm-hmm. Because, number one, I have friends over there. Mm-hmm. Not just Japanese native. People that have moved there because they love the country so much. Mm-hmm. Talk about a country that has come back from ashes. Mm-hmm. Hiroshima, all that. Mm-hmm. And is not sore about the things that transpire between us.
Yeah.
We're allies.
They don't bring up shit to us and say, "Oh, Japan, we absolutely love you. Oh, yes, we love you dropping
Especially,
bombs on us."
you know, the last 2 or 3 generations of youth. The respect of this, like...
That's another thing. We have no respect to other countries, including our allies
Yes.
and those we've defeated in the past. Germans will say, "We absolutely love America because they are our allies. They support us, and we will
Yes.
support them." Any stupid, dumb, average American's going to say, "Oh, and we kicked your ass in 2 world wars."
Right.
We are that dumb enough to bring that up, and yet,
Lack of respect
yes,
is what it all comes down to.
there is no respect to.
There's no respect.
No,
These wars happen.
it's not just lack of respect to other countries. We can't even respect ourselves in this country.
No.
Whether if it's religion, race.
We barely get along with ourselves.
Yeah. That's what it boils down to. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
We don't know how to get along with each other.
Yeah.
Yet the rest of the world is passing us by. They don't know. There might be countries that may not like each other, but they know how to get along with each other on the global stage.
Yeah.
We can't even do that amongst ourselves
My
locally.
best friend Ken
Yeah.
still is under the belief that all Middle Eastern countries have nothing but dirt roads. I'm like, have
That's
you
not
seen?
always true.
No, it's not.
The capital of Iraq, Baghdad, is a quite well-established city.
Yeah, sewer systems. You know, just as modern.
Power, electric grids,
Just as modern as we are.
water and plumbing, electricity, fuel sources,
People do not live in
transportation routes,
people.
buildings.
People do not live in straw houses anymore.
No.
This is we need to be aware of how the rest of the world is now.
Yeah.
Stop looking at history books from 20, 30 years ago, because it ain't like that anymore.
No.
Hasn't been for a long time.
Hell, even going back to the 50s and 60s when America was riding its coattails of world victory, which, yeah, I can understand that. Americans felt really good about themselves.
Too good.
They felt too good, but it was a good... Pretty much, it helped the boom that followed well into the 1980s until really corporate America started to get the idea that they can play against the system, against all us. The 70s was really the last good decade where corporations were still somewhat on our side, but they're starting to get annoyed that they are on our side and they want a bit more from that. Without people, you don't have a country. Without people, you don't have a company. Without people, you don't have a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And if you don't put any effort into making sure that we all have our basic needs met, you're never going to have a perfect country. Why? Americans think that we are the God-given right of, like, we are God's... There are some Americans that are old enough that think that we are God's gift to the world.
Yeah, we're not.
And it's so incredibly wrong. Yet we've caused so much chaos and so much...
Pompous. It's a pompous attitude.
Yeah. There's too much hubris with the average American.
The guy from Dumb and Dumber gave a speech in a movie about this. About us being the greatest country in the world. And the things he says in that speech couldn't be more true. Very much like what we're talking about now. We're not the best.
No.
We used to be.
We used to be the best because we cared for each other and others' values. Nowadays, it's too much about me.
Where were cars invented originally?
Germany.
Right. There's a lot of things that were started here, not including cars.
I mean, locomotives.
Yeah.
Cars, transportation in general. Except we were the first ones to invent the airplane.
Yeah.
Of all major modes of transportation, America has only done one thing. To provide one invention to the world, and that was the aeroplane. And you know what? Boeing can't even get its act together to make a safe plane. With their 787 MAX aircraft, which seem to have some kind of default with them, but now apparently they're cleared to fly. So they must have fixed them all while they're on the ground, but, this country is amazing to me, and a lot of the good things that I think about it. Then I look at the bad in this country, and I can only hope to think that we can fix them so that the rest of the world and every American can also believe that, yes, this is the country that the world can aspire to be.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm sure any single red-blooded Republican American would love to have America take over the world. That is probably their mentality in a sense that we're the best, so we must consume everything else.
Yep.
I'm of the belief that we need to become the best so that other countries can learn from us to become the best as well with us. We're too competitive amongst each other to do any good for us as a whole.
Right. Yeah, it's we have a lot of work to do, guys. We have a lot of work to do.
Then you made a mention about how some people around the world that we know like to look at America in different ways.
Yes.
Some people say we're the best thing to happen, and
Yep.
in some degrees we give them the inspiration to become more like us in terms of government, free speech, freedom of press, so that things aren't censored. Freedom of religion. You shouldn't have to be worried about being killed for who you...
Unfortunately, with freedom of press...
You get the garbage, too.
Not just. With money comes power.
Thus comes corruption.
Thus comes corruption. Thus comes ownership of these... of every news media networks. Control what they televise, how they report it, what they say. This is me spouting off half drunk. So take what you will of this, grain of salt and all that. But my firm belief is that every news station is owned by a...
rich person.
Not just a rich person. By a party, by a political party.
That too, if you think of... Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
To help.
CNBC or...
CNBC, CNN.
ABC to a degree.
Yeah.
MSN.
How about NBC? Yep.
Are all owned by the left.
Yeah.
Then you got places like Fox News, Newsmax, One American News, Breitbart News. These are all owned by Republican constituents.
And it's all to cater to your
Interests.
beliefs and interests.
Yep. It's to affirm in what you believe without actually giving you the idea to, whoa, they gave me a counterpoint to what I believe in.
Right.
Now I must really deep think about this so that I know what I'm believing is to be honest or not.
Right. Either way, it caters to your particular beliefs and interests.
Most cases, it just coddles them.
And here's my thing, guys, and I'm being completely frank with you. I do not watch the news.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the news in years.
I hate it. Every time I've ever caught a little snip of here or there, I can't even believe what I'm seeing on either end. It does not matter what affiliation it is, because it's very much far left or far right. This is my problem. We can't continue to be like this. We can't let them use us and control us. We have to meet in the middle and make a better country.
You know what's my favorite news network? The BBC.
Yeah.
I think the BBC...
Because they're looking at it from a third-person perspective.
Yeah. I get more...
They're not here in on it.
I get more information about shit that goes on in this country that we don't know about than CNN or Fox News actually covers.
Yeah.
There is much more outside in the world You know what's actually kind of sad is that you learn about your own country through an outside news source from another country.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be, is that you should be focused on that kind of shit.
We're the fishbowl, and they're watching us.
Oh, yeah. My German friends from Dusseldorf told me that there are...
Porsche? Is Porsche German?
I mean, Porsche is German.
Is he?
Porsche Husky?
Yeah.
He's actually French.
Is he?
Yeah, he's actually French.
Is he living overseas?
No, he's in Missouri, but he was born in Metz.
Really?
Yeah. So we're both French Huskies. Except he was actually physically born there. Which I need to visit Porsche because I miss him. But anyway, you know how we get TV commercials about a quarter can make a kid's life in Africa a difference?
Oh, God.
Did you know that in Germany they have that exact same commercial but for American kids?
Really?
They say €1 a month can make a American child a difference.
They're
through your
using
support.
people's gullibility.
So, well, not just that, but that also doesn't look good for us, that we as a first world nation shouldn't have to believe that our kids are going home hungry, which they are.
Remember before Biden got put in office, he used his Twitter to raise money to help move Trump out of office?
Yes, and you know what my thoughts about that?
Scam.
No American should care about that.
No, it's not a responsibility to move out a president.
No, it never has been and never will be.
That was a scam, and I feel bad for anyone who fell for that.
Yep.
And it was implemented through an official presidential Twitter account.
It's just...
Actually, at the time, he wasn't presidential.
Right.
But that was officiated through an official Twitter account. And it was a fucking scam. I knew it as soon as I saw it.
Why should we have to pay out? Yeah.
We've never fit the bill for moving out a president.
No.
For moving him out.
I mean, besides taxpayer dollars, but our own physical money?
No. I worked my ass off for this money. Why the hell should I give it to them?
Yeah.
When it's not even going to... Here's the thing. I did research on it. It won't even go to them. It goes to a company that collects the money.
And what they'll do with the money doesn't
Who
say.
knows? Yeah. Who knows? We don't know. Biden probably doesn't even know.
No, I'm sure he definitely knows. I'm sure he's just not going to say. My thought is I have never bothered to donate any money to any politician.
No.
Even those that I might like. I never do because you know why?
You get my vote. That's all you need.
You get my vote.
You get my vote and you get my taxes.
Yep.
Period. That's it. That's all you get. Because, as I said before, you're working for us. So the money that comes out of my paychecks towards federal, that's your paycheck. Don't ask me for more money because you're not getting it. And they raise taxes every 2 to 4 years? Regardless?
I don't even know. Wait, for what?
Just federal taxes.
To be honest, I feel like people that make under 50 grand shouldn't have to get taxed anyway.
Anybody that donated money to Trump while he was in office, or before he was in office, you're a chump.
Yeah.
You are a ridiculous, gullible chump. You deserve it. You deserve to fall for it.
The idea that you're going to support a billionaire that has said specifically in the 2016 campaign that he's going to self-fund himself, that was a lie. He has mentioned it multiple times. Oh, but if you want to donate, you can donate, but you don't have to. But if you donate, that's fine. We appreciate that. It's like...
I hope those people feel guilty and feel bad now. Because what did they pay for?
They'll never feel guilty. They'll never will.
Because they're so blinded.
They're so blinded by the Trumpster that they will realize that they've been had. And those that notice it, they are going to be too prideful to say that they were had.
Denial.
Yeah. And this country is going to... And what's sad about that is there is a family of Trumps
Yeah. So we're not done yet.
We're totally not done, but this country should never be a hereditary rulership. Never has been, never should have been. Why there were two Bushes to begin with was kind of a fluke. Then suddenly Hillary Clinton wants to run. So now we've got a Bush, a Clinton, another Bush, another Obama.
That was an act of desperation. Let me just put that out there. That was an act of desperation.
I want to become the first woman president. That would be great, but...
First lady president.
There would have been better other choices.
She was a cocky prick.
Yeah.
I watched every public appearance of hers. Man, she was cocky. She had this in the bag. She thought for sure, I got this.
That's overconfidence, and that'll bite you back in the ass.
Yep. She thought for sure, there's no way that some TV reality host is going to beat me. I was the first lady.
Yeah.
I got this in the bag. Guess what happened, lady? You got your ass beat. Because he had people chanting, lock her up, and all that stupid bullshit.
And it also shows that this country is incredibly sexist, too.
And gullible.
And gullible. I don't know. Like, going back to news networks, the BBC tends to be a pretty honest place for news.
Yeah.
The outside world looks at us as, wow, these people are quite crazy. And I don't even think many Europeans donate money to politicians anyway.
I hope not.
France has a political season of 6 months. We have a political season of 18. There was already a huge problem right there.
Yeah.
The reason why you have to spend so much money to become president is because you're elongating the process to become president.
Beyond that, congressmen.
Yeah.
Not just congressmen. What were the guys that sit in the...
Senators.
Senators.
And representatives. And governors, to be honest.
House of Representatives they're in there way too long.
I'd say 8 years max. As long as you can be president. That's
Suckling at the teat.
Yeah. I honestly think this country would be better off if you can only be elected twice.
That goes for everybody involved in politics.
Yes.
Everybody.
Unless you're mayor, then even that alone, that's small peanuts. That'd be the only time where I would see a mayor being in office for 40 years and whatnot. But you know enough about the city to know how to run it. As far as your state, you could really ruin a state in 40 years.
Yeah.
You could make it...
Wisconsin.
What?
Wisconsin.
And what about Wisconsin?
Governor. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Scott Walker.
Scott Walker.
A thumb in the eye of proud Wisconsinites.
Yeah.
And this man promised $250,000 jobs in his first 4 years in office. You know how many he created?
0.
No, he actually created 80,000. But you know what actually happened? No, 83,000. You know what actually did happen? He lost. He lost 50,000 jobs in his first year. Then he created 83,000 for a net 23,000 jobs. So in reality, he only netted 23,000 jobs in his whole 8 years.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
You can't make promises like that.
Foxconn was his biggest blunder.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Now, there is no factory. It's just a lab. It's not even a building. It's just a lab.
Mm-hmm.
That only employ a small number of people.
Furries. Because foxes.
Ugh. That's, I don't know. To me, I think it was the biggest waste of Wisconsin taxpayer money in history.
Yep.
I honestly think you need to have an IQ to be a politician, and you must be tested yearly. And if you go below a certain number, you probably should get bounced out of office.
Yeah.
Because the moment that you show incompetency is when you know that you cannot uphold the office. I don't know. I feel like our country's politicians have become too old, too detached.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what the cost of bread is for the average
don't.
American.
They don't. They have no clue.
They have people do their grocery shopping for them.
Yeah.
What do they know about that?
You know how many people shop at Walmart online anymore and don't even come in the stores?
Is it a big number?
Very big.
Really?
Almost half of our clientele now.
Honestly, we have become an online society, and in some ways that's a good thing.
And we're wasting money on a remodel.
Of the building.
Yeah, well, inside.
For those that are still coming in, which will likely diminish over and over time when the older generation...
Why bother wasting that money?
When the older generation that doesn't know how to use a computer and rather go in person... When that generation dies off, you only have people who'd rather go online and just get their stuff.
They'll have an empty store with all these beautiful displays.
Frankly, the online business, if you can go online, you can still succeed in this modern world. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is literally the place to go.
Yeah.
I want to support local businesses, but unfortunately, many people are buying online. And you know what? So be it. And that's not going to change, especially with this past pandemic. This past pandemic has showed people that, hey, we can buy all of our stuff online. And it's a lot more convenient. Now we got transportation hubs. Now we got Amazon, FedEx, UPS, USPS, literally anyone that transports mail and parcels are making big money right now. And unfortunately, the smaller stores, if they don't... Interesting. If they don't advance quickly, they're going to fall behind. And it's kind of a shame, but you know what? Unfortunately, that's what the current market is right now. And I don't think it's ever going to come back the same way again. And the cat is, did you mix it with Sprite? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Let's cap that before that flies off.
It's good to use the
juice.
The juice from that, because it kind of
masks the vodka.
Yes, it's perfect word. I will say this: I didn't notice this before. Central Standard, same company, but it's not Door County cherries. This is bourbon cherries, Red Cabin bourbon.
Nice.
So bourbon and vodka.
Well, I don't want to get too negative on this episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is my fault. I was a buzzing loaf, and I had things to say.
I will be saying this about my new job. I am liking it, but there's still quite a lot to go. But I think this will be a good match. I think this is certainly something I can do and deal with. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I want to not talk about my job too much, because when I had my old one, that's all that I seemed to talk about. But I want to at least give a good update that so far I'm doing all right, and I should be all right.
I think you'll be good at this.
I think so too, because I've already started hooking up wheelchairs into a bus. Yesterday was my first day on the job doing everything minus driving. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow I will be coming in, doing the actual driving and hooking up of wheelchairs, escorting people from door to door. But I did that in the last 3 hours of my day yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I've done all of the wheelchairs yesterday. And you know what? Wasn't that big a deal.
Uh-huh.
It's just people need to make sure, which in Milwaukee County, there is an ordinance where at least your pathway and your walkways on the sidewalks must be shoveled to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And if it isn't, it's a liability and you might get fined. Some of these people who have wheelchairs, I must say, if you make a reservation for a busing company to come pick you up, our policy is we have 5 minutes to get you loaded on board so that we can go, because we're on a time schedule.
Yep.
We are given 20 minutes of delay, which, when you think about it, is a lot.
That's a lot.
But we are given 20 minutes of being late to a pickup.
Yeah.
However, for the most part, all of yesterday until we got stuck in the snow, which I'm gonna briefly talk about this as well.
Sure.
But we have a 5-minute rule. By the time we ring the doorbell, that our clients must be in the seat or be strapped into the bus within 5 minutes, just to keep us honest and keep us
So basically,
on time.
be ready to go.
Oh yes, especially in winter, which
My mom would not be a good candidate for your services.
no, because we would prefer you to be looking outside the window to making sure that we are on our way.
She will be.
She'll
have
fart
you-
around.
She'll have you waiting 15, 20.
Oh, we are actually
minutes.
required to leave you on the spot. We will call in dispatch and say, Mrs. Carroll is not ready. We've been waiting for 5 minutes. We got other stuff to do.
Yep.
Mr. Smith has a job that we have to drop him off at. We're
That's a
going to
priority.
pass.
That's
Yep.
a priority.
And dispatch will say, okay, we'll remove him from the list or give him to someone else.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to be that person, and I'm going to
You
have to
have to.
learn
You
one
have
thing
to.
about being assertive. But you know what? I understand. Time is definitely money.
Yeah. Especially with your company.
Oh, yeah. Because other people depend on us to get somewhere in the same amount of time as they expected.
It's not just them. It's relying on that service.
Yes. Especially people in wheelchairs. We're the only service for them in the whole county.
Yeah.
There's maybe one or two other small companies that do it. We are the biggest company that actually provides nearly 80% of the service
Yeah.
in the county. And we provide nearly 70% of the service for all the others that are still ambulatory, which means people who can still walk. But it seems like a good job. There's a few things I can keep learning and doing and whatnot. I may even start to maybe wear a watch someday, because I'm not allowed to have a cell phone on me, at least in my lunch bag, which I may end up just buy maybe a small bag with all my notes and whatnot, and lunch and this and that, and just to keep on board, because I am allowed my bag and belongings. It's just I can't have a cell phone in my pocket. Can have my cell phone, it's just got to be turned off
Right.
until lunchtime. I think that's a good fit. Winter is a good crucible because snow fucks up everything.
Sure does.
And throughout the next year, with no snow on the ground, I should have no problems getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And plus two, people don't have to bundle up so much.
Yeah.
So I'm only expecting this to get even better. It's just right now it's a good time to learn.
Yeah. If you can get through this season, the rest of the year should be a breeze.
Yeah.
And I see you doing really good at this. I have very high hopes in you, and I think you're a really good candidate and a very responsible Zooming Hoosk.
And they do have a GPS system in each tablet, so if I needed to get anywhere in town, I can use that if need be.
Yes.
Which I might maybe use, and they say, oh yeah, well within about 2-3 weeks you'll get much. I doubt. I can see 2-3 months before I get all of their basic directions padded down, but I think it's going to be a fun job. I'm already enjoying it. I feel good helping those getting to and from where they need to go.
That's good. That helps make a job better.
Is to do
If you believe in what you're doing is a good thing,
to society.
you're helping to contribute to society. I'm helping by putting all the bananas on the shelf. You are helping to transport all the people that cannot transport themselves.
Yep. And I am no longer contributing to the weapons of war anymore. I am now contributing to the transportation of the many by so few in the best ways.
That's great.
Because eventually I will figure that eventually U.S. military spending won't be as big as it will be in the next 10, 20, 50 years. Because you know what? Eventually, they're going to realize we can't keep up with the spending.
March is going to close.
I hope so. I hope in 5 years' time, because the way how they run their business, they won't last long enough anyway.
And that douchebag will be out of a job.
Oh, he'll be close to retiring, but
He'll
still.
probably end up at Walmart.
Oh, he's too proud of a person to do something like that. He almost wanted to work for a garage installing service because he knew a friend who would get him in on a good position, but it would be not a manager position, and it wouldn't pay almost exactly what he'd make. So he'd be making less. The problem is, he would have probably had more fun doing that, but he wouldn't be a manager. And I think my boss is too used to, or my old boss is being too used to being bossy to others. I don't think he can actually handle being yelled at. Anything you have to say, Puss?
I think I should start dinner.
Yeah, I think dinner would be a good time. I have to get up at 5:30. Well, not at 5:30. I got to be at work by 5:30. So I'll be leaving at around 4:45 in the morning to get to work. So, again, with new Hoosk job and whatnot, not sure what days I will be doing podcast. Certainly podcast will continue. I'm just not sure what the future holds as far as a regular fixed schedule, but in time we'll certainly find out what we can do.
For now, it'll be sporadic, and that's fine.
Well, at least right now it's still pretty normal, like Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's just what happens if I'm not only working, let's say working Saturdays, because that's what I'm expecting to do. Who knows? Maybe it might even be Fridays if I have a Friday off or something. I don't know, but we'll figure something out because I enjoy doing this, and it seems many of you do as well. So we'll definitely continue as much as we can.
I enjoy it.
It's something to do.
I enjoy being a part of it.
Well,
and I appreciate you having me.
Co-host Poos. Well, I think it's a good time to end this. So, this is another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and once again, I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm sort of buzzed.
And that is a very buzz Sourpuss.
I'm a buzzing loaf, but I am still Kurdan Sourpuss.
There we go. Well, we'll catch you next time, perhaps Saturday. I've not been told that I might be working Saturday, so who knows? Saturday will likely still be on. Otherwise, we'll let you know. So, we'll catch you next time.